So we're going to do it this way. Okay, you can still see it. Right. So this screen, this slide kind of explains or shows to you um, my coworkers, Jessica Wetzel and Chelsea Wanacke, who also are part of the college savings program at Edvest. Our agenda is I'm going to explain to you what a 529 is, paying for college, how to open up an Edvest account, and then open it up for FAQs. I do want this to kind of be open so you can feel free. I believe you have access to the chat and stuff. Since I am sharing my screen, I won't be able to get to the chat till after my presentation, but feel free to put any questions in there and I will get to it when I'm done kind of going through my slides. So what are 529 college savings plans? So it's named for Section 529 of the IRS tax code. It's a college savings plan that's a dedicated education savings account where contributions made are invested and earn compound interest over time. So every state actually offers at least one 529 college savings plan in some form, be it a prepaid plan, a direct sold plan, or an advisor sold. So in Wisconsin, Edvest and Tomorrow Scholar are both the 529 college savings plans offered here in Wisconsin. Edvest is a direct sold one, which is sold to individuals, and then Tomorrow Scholar is sold through financial planners or broker dealers. Both of them are administered here at the Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions, where Edvest investments are managed by TIAA Craft and tuition financing, and Tomorrow Scholar is managed by Voya Investment Management Group. So how do 529 plans work? It starts with an account owner, and that's the person that's actually opening the account who will then have control over the funds. So this account owner names a beneficiary, and it's the person that you're saving for, which can be a child, a grandchild, a loved one, or you can actually open up and save for yourself. Once an account is open and you name a beneficiary, then you can start contributing to the account. And it will be invested, so hopefully you can watch it grow over time with the investments. And then when it's time to start paying for qualified education expenses, the account owner, which would be you, would withdraw the funds for school. So the funds can be used for any qualified education expense, such as your tuition, room and board, books, computers, any other school fees that might be there. So anything you can pretty much think about that's needed to fully participate in school. I will go into some of that a little bit more throughout the slides too. Additionally, funds can be used towards K through 12 tuition up to $20,000 per year right now. It can help pay for apprenticeship programs that are registered with the Secretary of Labor and can be used to help pay back student loans up to $10,000 over a lifetime. Also brand new this year, you can now use your 529 plan to help pay for credentialing programs. So we offer flexibility and control to the account owner. So by that, it means use of your 529 plans are not restricted by state residency or they don't have to go to specific individual schools. Any school that is eligible to participate in federal financial aid will actually accept a 529 plan. So like I had mentioned before, the funds can be used for public and private community colleges, public and private student institutions, technical colleges, certificate programs, and actually help pay for apprenticeship programs. Anyone can contribute to an Edvest account. So it can be a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, or some friends. In Wisconsin, there is a triple tax incentive. So when saving with a 529 plan in Wisconsin, earnings will grow tax deferred. Distributions used to pay for qualified education expenses come out federally tax free. And then Wisconsin residents can qualify for a state tax deduction on contributions they make into a Wisconsin 529 college savings plan. For the 2025 year, that tax deduction could be up to $5,130 for married filers and then $2,560 for married filing separately. This will be increasing for the 2026 year to $5,280 for married filers and $2,640 for married filing separately. So with an Edvest account, the funds are invested. So they have the ability to earn compound interest over time. That means the earlier you can start saving, the better, but it's never actually too late to start saving. I wanted to show this slide to kind of show the potential earnings you have if you were to start saving about $100 a month in each account. So after 8 years, you could have around $20,000 saved. And then if you were to save for about 12 years, you could have just over $30,000 a year. And then 18 years with $100 a month for 18 years, you could have around $53,500 saved for education, which is a great amount to help start an offset paying for whatever it is for post-secondary education. I want you to know that these plans, it's not about saving the entire amount for your loved one's education. It's about saving consistently and within your means. So the Edvest website actually has some great tools. In particular, there's a calculator that can help you figure out how much to save to meet your goals. And I'll put in the chat when I close out of sharing my screen. But there's a link to our website where it's edvest.com/resources and then /tools, which will kind of help you with that estimator. So speaking of contributions, there are many ways you can contribute to an Edvest account. Number one, you can sign up by making reoccurring contributions to your account through your checking or your savings account. You can do it through payroll direct deposit if your business or office offers Edvest at work, or you can do via electronic fund transfer. There's no minimum recurring contributions when you sign up for payroll direct deposit, but there is a minimum of $25 if you decide to do the recurring contributions through your checking or your savings account. When opening a book account, we always encourage you to kind of sign up for recurring contributions right away so that you don't have to think about the amount until you want to. So you can log into your accounts at any time that you want. You can change that amount, whether you want to raise or lower it, depending on your current financial situation. You can also roll over funds from another state should you have one and should you have one at a different state. And those funds actually will qualify for the state tax deduction if you roll it over to a Wisconsin fund. Once you have the accounts established, you can also transfer funds between accounts. So if you have more than one child and more than one beneficiary, you can go from beneficiary A to beneficiary B to even out the dollar amounts. Or if beneficiary A is done using those monies, it can be rolled into beneficiary B that you're saving for. What's also great about Advest is you can also gift with a program that we call UGift. It's free, easy, secure way to ask friends and family for gift contributions to your account. So after you've opened up an Advest account, you'll get a unique UGift code that's about 6 numbers or digits that's provided for each separate account. And you can share that with friends and families at any time to easily make gift contributions. So we know the cost of higher education continues to rise. So you aren't going to be surprised about that. But looking at this slide, we wanted you to see the different cost of post-secondary education, be it going to a 2-year public college that costs an average of just under $5,000 a year to a 4-year public state college costing around $20,000 a year, just so that you get an idea of what cost of college is. So the average time it also takes to fully pay off student loans is 20 years. So that's something we want you to keep in mind too when you're saving for higher education. And why start saving now is a good idea to help offset some of those costs that you could have by the time whoever you're saving for, your the student or grandchild or whatever, um, will have some money and reduce the student loan debt that's possible for them. We know that it's hard to talk about the rising cost of higher education without actually talking about student loan debt. So we hear a lot that this total student loan debt in the country right now is sitting at $1.8 trillion. In Wisconsin alone, we have 727,000 borrowers that have just under $23.2 billion in student loan debt. So the average student loan in Wisconsin for borrowers is $42,673, which on this slide you can see it breaks down to an average monthly payment of $503 a month in student loans. So we know that this isn't a small amount of money for anybody. This $503 could cover all or some of a car payment. It could be used towards rent. It could be put away for emergency savings, or it could actually be used to begin saving for a down payment on a home. But instead, we know it's actually going to be used, or we hope it's being used for student loan debt to help pay that off. So having a dedicated education savings account is one of the most proactive ways to reduce your loved one's burden on student debt upon graduation. There are also other ways to start saving for school. I like to, when I talk to people, say, how about creating a plan to pay for higher education where that you can avoid an over-reliance on student loans? So for that, it's kind of thinking about your family's paying for school strategy. It'll look like this pyramid where think of your savings, such as your 529, or if you have a normal savings or checking account, it's as a large solid foundation. So that's your bottom half. So a house has your foundation, that's your stable important part. That's going to be your savings. Hopefully, you have a 529 to start saving. Next, you want to look at the scholarships, grants, work study programs as the middle tier of your pay for school strategy. This is the money that you will get that you don't have to actually pay back. So it's considered free money for scholarships and grants. And then last, for those, if the first two don't completely close the gap for paying for post-secondary education, then you can consider taking out private student loans. So many times there's also a concern about saving for higher education that having a savings will decrease a child's ability to get financial aid. So showing this slide, I wanted to point out that yes, a parent-owned 529 account is a financial aid friendly way to save. It is considered a parental asset as part of the FAFSA application and is not heavily weighted as a student-owned asset, where an IRA or an UGMA is considered a student-owned asset. So it hits a little bit harder when it comes to the FAFSA formula. Another nice thing about a 529 account is if the account happens to be opened by a grandparent or a non-custodial parent, the money in that does not count as an asset towards filling out the FAFSA. They don't have to add it at all, and it doesn't count as income for the student. Only the parent account does. So as the same time the cost of higher education continues to increase, we know that the benefits of obtaining a degree or learning a trade are still relevant when it comes to unemployment rates and wages. So individuals, we found out, with any level of post-secondary education experiences higher wages, and they also report better job satisfaction because they pursued something that they think is important to them and that they find meaning. So they tend to be happier in their roles. So a quick high level of what we just went through is yes, college is expensive. We know that savings can make a big difference no matter how you save, but every little bit will help reduce the student loan debt and actually achieve a higher education degree. Start saving as soon as possible, but it's never too late. And where you save carefully is important as well, where you can save in your Edvest account, you can save in a savings account, you can pull money from a Roth IRA, but look at what the differences are if you get taxed on those with withdrawing money and everything else along those lines. So I also know I kind of touch a little bit briefly about going over how to open up an Edvest account. So I have a couple slides left that's going to kind of tell you why it's important and how to open up an account. You can pretty much open up an Edvest account in about 15 minutes. So the first steps is to head to edvest.com or you can call our customer service line. And I'll put that number in the chat when I stop sharing my screen as well. But our customer service line is 1-888-338-3789. And they will help walk you through opening up an account and become an account owner. You'll also, when you open up an account, want to figure out your savings goals and then determine how much you like to save each month to meet that goal. Like I mentioned before, we do have a few different calculators that you can use on our edvest.com website. Once you open up your account, you're going to want to name your beneficiary. So that's the person you're saving for. So like I mentioned, it could be your child, your grandchild, a friend, or even yourself if you're going back to school. And then you can either build a portfolio if you feel comfortable enough with the stock market and knowing your the portfolios and the different stocks there are, or you can determine when your beneficiary might enter high school. And then with that, you can simply select an investment in your portfolio since you'll know when you're going to want to start withdrawing the money by the year that they graduate high school. Once you have all that set up, you can log into your account and monitor your savings and make changes. Like if you wanted to change your portfolio, if you wanted to change your beneficiary, or if you wanted to change your monthly contributions at any time, because it's your account, you have access to do whatever you would like with your account. We also want you to make the most of your Edvest account. So by setting up recurring contributions to make it easier to use, you can have family and friends, like I said, contribute to the account for birthdays, holidays, using the UGift, which is extremely easy to share out your code. You also can download our Ready Save app to help make it convenient to check on your account and make contributions. So if you're either Apple user or an Android user, you can go to Google Store or Apple Store and download Ready Save. You can also schedule an appointment with one of our dedicated education savings consultants at any time to help answer questions or to set up your account. They'll be happy to help walk you through step by step and answer whatever questions you have. You can scan the QR code here, or if you actually go to our website, you'll see under resources how to connect with our education savings consultant to set up an appointment. We do have two of them that are dedicated here to Wisconsin. So it doesn't matter which one you reach out to and talk to. So Wisconsin has triple tax benefits where there's deferred growth when you put money into the account. It's tax-free coming out as long as it's for qualified education expenses, and is also tax deductible per beneficiary for Wisconsin state taxes. It's simple to use and manage. Contribution levels that fit your budget is easy, like simply open up an account with $25, and you don't have to worry much about it. And then families can contribute through UGift. We also want you to know that yes, it is financial aid friendly and it won't hurt in the overall FAFSA formula if a parent has an Edvest account. And then we also have the easy to use, ready to save app to help manage your accounts. So I know I went through this pretty quick. I'm gonna kind of finish my last slide and then I'm gonna stop sharing so I can actually see you guys and answer questions. So if it lets me. All right. So I see, does anyone have any questions in the chat?